the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. I won't do the things I don't believe in. I don't care about impressing your friends. Don't care about fitting in the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no-good jerk. And then I go to work and you go berserk. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
In Pensacola, watch for a crash with road blockage North Green Street at Mobile Highway. Got an accident eastbound on the Bayway at the Causeway exit. You're traveling from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 6-minute delay. We also have an accident moved to the right shoulder on 158 eastbound approaching Shelton Beach Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bank. That's bank. Enter it now. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Hey, man, what time is it? Hey, Uncle Henry, do you know what time it is? It must be time to start the show.
Message deleted.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, a center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile.
is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. And it really, I feel so blessed. I do. I feel blessed to be here, to have this job. I appreciate you listening to this for whatever reason. Even if you're listening so that you can feel like you're smarter than somebody else, whatever it is, whatever your reason for listening is, I appreciate it. Thank you for making it possible for me to come into this building. It's just wonderful. I mean, it's heated and air conditioned. I know I'm bragging now, but I work at a place that has heating and air conditioning. And we got coffee. They provide me. I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I get coffee at work. I don't have to buy that. Heating and air conditioning, always important here on the Gulf Coast. My boss, over the last year, has started bringing snacks for us. Yes, my boss provides snacks, like flavored popcorn and stuff like that. I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but it is a blessing. And thank you for making it possible. Thank you for listening to me here on the Uncle Henry Show, or even watching on YouTube as I just stand at the microphone, struggling, trying to keep the career going. Well, we got a lot going on, so much to talk about. A busy weekend this time of the year on the Gulf Coast. You got all that Mardi Gras action with Mardi Gras parades tonight and during the weekend, and then you got the Super Bowl Sunday with all these things to talk about. I got opinions on all that stuff. Real quick, though, I've noticed from being in my job, I do occasionally find myself around groups of women folk that are working for the company or working for other companies and are visiting our company just as a part of my job. Every now and again, I'm around gaggles of women folk, all wonderful. Couldn't get the work done here around these parts without their help. That being said, I've noticed that the top news story for these folks, these ladies, these women that I've been around past couple of days, is the Savannah Guthrie mother kidnapping case. This is anything else in the news that is going on, and there's a lot of stuff, tremendous amount of stuff going on, nationally, internationally, state of Alabama, city of Mobile. There's all kind of stuff going on. Top story among these ladies is that kidnapping case, that Savannah Guthrie case. Now, I've not done a deep dive myself because of all the other news items out there. But it got me to thinking, if this woman has been kidnapped, I'm old enough to remember. You might be old enough to remember, too. But I'm old enough to remember when kidnapping could get you the chair. Do you remember this? It used to be, in some cases, a death penalty case. And that was different from state to state. Now, I think federally, after the Lindbergh baby kidnapping almost 100 years ago, I think up until the 60s or 70s, there was a federal thing that if you kidnapped somebody and it was an interstate thing, you could get the death penalty, especially if the person was harmed or worse, death penalty type case. And even after the, I don't know when all this ended. I'm not a legal scholar, but some states, I think Georgia, Texas, some of the tougher states, you know what I'm talking about, the tougher states, they kept it. They kept a kidnapping could get you the chair, could get you the death penalty for a while. But that is all over these days. And I don't want to talk about all that horrible stuff necessarily on the program unless you're just dying to talk about it. But we might have a little more orderly society. You think about all the disorder in our society, we might have a little bit more orderly society if potential kidnappers were scared that they were going to get the chair if they kidnapped somebody. I'm just saying. But I started thinking about this, and I remembered when I was younger, kidnapping was considered a bigger deal. And I don't know why it's not now, but back then it was considered a bigger deal. And if you got caught kidnapping somebody, you had to worry about getting the chair. And by the way, I know we do have people on death row in Alabama, but is it even a deterrent anymore? I wonder. But anyway, that could be a conversation for another day. This came up in my mind when I was thinking about this terrible situation with the Guthrie family and worried about that lady. And I hope they find her unharmed and untangle whatever happened out there. All right, we got a lot to get into. I got some voicemails I want to play you. I've already gotten a voicemail report from the Polka Dots ball last night, so we'll get into that. And I've got some more newsier voicemails. That and just other things to talk about here as the Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Before I go to the first break of the hour, I want to remind you that if you want to listen back to previous shows, the Uncle Henry Show available as a podcast on the iHeartRadio app. You can just go on the app, look up Uncle Henry Show, include the word show, and you'll be able to find it. And you can set a preset in the app, and the show will always pop up, and you can listen to all the different bloopers and mistakes that I've made in the previous weeks, months, and years of Uncle Henry Show. And the podcast also available on iTunes, at newsradio710.com, and in many other streaming situations. Back after the break with more Uncle Henry Show.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for a crash on Mobile Highway at North Green Street in Pensacola. Also, an accident was moved to the right shoulder on Highway 158 eastbound at College Parkway. And we have two parades in Mobile tonight, the Order of Inca and the Order of Cajos. That all starts at 6:30, and the Bankhead Tunnel will close at 5:30. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
Looking forward to the Cajos. One of our favorite parades is the Lisa Baque Cajos. Hello, YouTube viewers. Thank you for looking in on YouTube. It's always a shock when I have viewers on a Friday. Well, it's kind of a shock I ever get any that aren't related to me. But when it's on a Friday, when there are other distractions out there, I'm really honored that you would be looking at the show on the YouTube. I'd like to say hello to Bama Big Man. I saw him earlier. He revealed that he's sucking right now. He's sucking cigar smoke into his head. So, Bama Big Man, thank you for watching as you suck cigar smoke into your head. Also, hello to Larry Morting, Richard Harvey, Sharon of Fairhope, Norman Richardson, Tarzan, 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, Azure, and 2 times 756, whatever that is. I don't understand that. Thank you all for looking in on the program. And for people that are not commenting, thank you for looking in. In the commercial break, I'll be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes with more Uncle Henry Show. Let me see if I can find any weird news to tell you about while I'm waiting to go back on the radio and talk to those wonderful AM radio listeners or streamers, wherever they might be. Now, looking into the weird news, there was a basketball game in Oklahoma, Frederick, Oklahoma, high school basketball game. Now, somebody got rowdy from one of the schools and started yelling at the referee, and he didn't like it. So this person got thrown out of the game for yelling at the referee, and then the referee had a discussion with a school administrator, and then this is in the fourth quarter. The referee made the entire one side of the gym had to leave. He threw out everybody from one school. Now, can you imagine? I think if that happened here, there would be gunplay. There'd be probably people be shot. But in Frederick, Oklahoma, the referee said, okay, one entire side of the gym has to leave before we finish the game. And so there was a delay there because they were elderly. You know, it takes a long time to get people to shuffle out of a gym. And people my age and older, we tend to shuffle, even when we don't want to. Even when I'm in a hurry, I'll do a little bit of shuffling. Through the entire... I wonder, now, I might have to look this up in the news in a day or two and see what I'm sure there's some kind of repercussions on the referee, or there's or one school wants to attack the other school, or glad it happened there, not here. All right, let's see, back on the radio in about 1 minute. Let's see, there's a Mississippi prison inmate who's pleaded guilty to fraud, started getting unemployment benefits while in Mississippi prison. The prisoner used other prisoners' personal information to apply for payments and had the checks sent to his mama's house. And, you know, this is one of those people that if you're smart enough to commit this kind of fraud, what are you doing in prison? Why aren't you holding a real job somewhere if you can figure out how to do this and get the check sent to your mama's house? Why not get a real job?
Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It's 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number, if you want to call the show, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, we've got Mardi Gras parades tonight in downtown Mobile and over in Daphne. And then tomorrow there's bunches of Mardi Gras parades all along the Gulf Coast. A lot of Mardi Gras action for you this weekend. Last night was the polka dots. I got a voicemail from longtime caller Buford, who went to the ball and filed a report. Now, I think for the first time, I'm having to censor Buford, and no offense to Buford, but he mentions in his voicemail a local celebrity, and maybe, well, I guess this person is a celebrity in many other places as well, but I would think of them as a local celebrity, and so I've made it so you can't hear the name of the celebrity. And I don't want to get sued by anybody for anything. So let's listen. Here's Buford telling us about going to the polka dots.
Henry, this here's Buford. Went to a Mardi Gras ball last night, Henry. That was the Order of Polka Dots.
Yes.
That's a fun group of little girls there, Henry. Let me tell you. Them ladies can throw down, as the young people say. But Henry, while I was waiting in line at the door to get in, I spied the disheveled... That's right, Henry. He was going stag.
All right, so this
Lone wolf.
All right, so this is somebody, I'm pausing there just to say, so he saw somebody. Now, the only bad thing he says about this person is that they looked quite disheveled. Now, I don't know if you can sue anybody for anything, but I just in the interest of avoiding an issue with this celebrity, who is a male and quite quite a bit larger than me. I'm just going to have this. Buford, again, no offense, but I had to take the celebrity's name out of the voicemail because even though he was disheveled at the ball, he is much larger than me, younger and more robust. And if he didn't like being described as disheveled, I don't want to be roughed up.
So, hope all you mothers out there had your daughters on lockdown. Because the disheveled was on the prowl. And yes, Henry, he was disheveled in his tails. Fellow looked like he just rolled out of bed. And he slept in them all night. I mean, that's somewhat acceptable later in the social season of Mardi Gras. I once knew a feller that went to one Mardi Gras ball and partied all night into the next day and then stumbled in the next Mardi Gras ball. Same set of tails, never showered, never nothing. That fella went on 2 days straight. And that was non-meth induced, Henry. That was before meth made its way down here.
Now, pausing there just to say, I've not been to a lot of Mardi Gras balls. I come from a more humble family that just we were just not pulled into the Mardi Gras mystic societies or any of that stuff. I've been to a few Mardi Gras, but not a lot. But in terms of this story of Buford telling us a story of somebody going to a ball and then partying, it sounds like for 24 hours until the next ball and then going in again. I've heard many, many stories like that. In fact, when I first got into media and got invited to some of the Mardi Gras balls, a local lawyer told me stories that I don't even want to repeat them on the I don't want to repeat them on the air. The stories the guy told me. It sounded some of the stories he told me about some of the stuff he saw at Mardi Gras balls sounded like the Stanley Kubrick movie Eyes Wide Shut. I mean, yes, we're talking some just wild. Don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near it. Type stuff. So I've heard many tales. In fact, the guy partying for 24 hours and then going right into the next ball, that sounds kind of tame compared to some of the stories I've heard in the past. But anyway, there's just a little bit more left in this voicemail.
Anyway, Henry, just thought I'd give you an update that I did spy the disheveled. Looks like I'm affable enough, feller. Anyway, Henry, will you be attending any of these soirees during the Mardi Gras season? You have a good day.
Buford, thank you. I appreciate your voicemail. Thank you. I like the reports from Mardi Gras. It makes me feel like I've been there when I didn't have to go. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show. Now, you asked, will I be attending any soirees? Let's see. I don't believe I'm going to any Mardi Gras ball this year, but I'm going to be this coming Monday night in downtown Mobile. I'm going to be the Grand Marshal of the Order of Venus I Heart Miracle on the Bay St. Jude Parade. So Monday night, Shelby Mitchell, also from 95 KSJ, a Grand Marshal. So she and I will be Grand Marshals of the Order of Venus Parade Monday night. Looking forward to it. Always have a great time being a Grand Marshal. They don't mind if I walk the parade route, which I enjoy that better than riding in a vehicle when it comes to being a Grand Marshal. Because through the years, I've learned that when you're a Grand Marshal and you walk the parade, and I guess a lot of Grand Marshals don't do that, but I've done it a few times. The reason I like walking it instead of riding in the vehicle is it's easier to dodge. when things are thrown back at you. And I have been in night parades during my career. You know, you in radio, you get asked to be a grand marshal every now and again for different parades. I can remember being hit in the head several times. This, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. I got hit in the head enough times while riding in convertibles in parades that I would rather just have the ability to dodge. Now, I'm not that fast. As I mentioned earlier this half hour, I do a lot of shuffling at my age. But at least I'll have the chance to shuffle out of the way if I see an object coming right at me. Back with more after the break.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design.com Traffic Center.
And a reminder, there are 2 parades in Mobile tonight, and the Bankhead Tunnel will be closing at about 5:30. First parade is the Order of Inca at 6:30, followed by the Order of Chaos. Also in Daphne, Apollo's Mystic Ladies will ride at 6:45.
All right, the Order of Chaos. Somebody called Lisa Bakke and told her it was not K-Hose, it was Chaos. And it had to be somebody that works for us that did it. Had to be.
In the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and Kings.
If I were guessing, I would be guessing that Mary Booth might have made the call. But that's just a guess.
Traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. Escambia County, Florida deputies arresting a woman, one in connection with the death of her 5-year-old son. They had been searching for Jalinda Smith. The boy's body was discovered in a trash bag today near Lillian Highway. This is a developing story, and we'll have the latest details about this on our website, fox10tv.com. The Theodore community is praying for the safe return of a missing mother and her 2 children. Aurelia, Narika, and Anthony have all been missing for nearly a week from their home. Investigators, including the Mobile County Sheriff's Office Flotilla Dive Unit, searched a retention pond behind the Dawes Creek neighborhood. Crews used a dewatering pump and a boat in their search efforts. Law enforcement has also been canvassing the area, going door to door, and asking neighbors for any possible video. Billboards have been put up to seek information about the missing family. If you have any information about this, call the Sheriff's Office. The Mardi Gras fun continues tonight in downtown Mobile. The Order of Inca parade kicks off at 6:30. They'll be followed by the Order of Chaos. Both parades will be on Route A. Now, if you can't make it downtown, Fox 10 has you covered. We'll be streaming the parades live on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. You can download the app on your Samsung, Apple, Roku, or Amazon TV. And the live coverage continues all the way up until Fat Tuesday. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeartRadio station.
This is News Radio 710, WNTM.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. Investigators looking into the potential of a new ransom note following the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Earlier, suspected initial messages from the kidnapper were sent to TMZ and 2 news stations in Tucson, Arizona. Fox's Jonathan Hunt is there.
One of the local TV stations here has confirmed that they were one of those, at least, that received this new message. CBS 13 News KOLD.
The Guthrie family, including Today Show host Savannah, have been pleading for proof of life confirmation. The Trump administration doing a victory lap after the Dow closed at a record high today. National Economic Director Kevin Hassett is also crediting AI.
When there's a productivity boom, like we're seeing because of artificial intelligence, that everybody's better off.
The Dow crossed the 50,000-point milestone while adding 1,207 points on the day. America's listening to Fox News.
YouTube viewers, I appreciate you looking on YouTube. We're going to be back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. Let me take a check and see if I've got some YouTube viewers. And looks like I do. Excalibur One Force. Pat Nelly. Bill Odell. Was it protesters throwing stuff at me? No. They were just people that was their form of entertainment, is hit the old man in the head. I mean, that's just a basic. In fact, there are a lot of teenage boys that would find that quite gratifying, just to throw an object at an old guy's head. But thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Let's see. 68-year-old Chris, weekend plans. Do I have any weekend plans? Well, the Super Bowl, I'm going to look at the Super Bowl, some of it, depending on if it's any good or not. What else? I've got a bunch of chores I need to do tomorrow, both in the house and in the yard. So I've got chores. All that kind of stuff. So nothing exciting. The excitement will begin Monday when I'm in that Mardi Gras parade. But thanks for asking. All right, going to be back on the radio here in less than 30 seconds. Richard Harvey, yes, I've been in both. I would rather walk them, but I'll ride in convertibles or trucks or whatever they put me in. It depends on what they want done.
.com.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
It is 5:35. Uncle Henry Show here with you on a Friday. A lot we can chat about. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. I think longtime Uncle Henry Show caller Bert is still playing right now at the Blues Tavern. So if you're out and about looking for musical excitement, you could head on over to the Blues Tavern on the Halls Mill Road and see Bert with his keyboard and a drummer playing Elton John music. That is going on now at the Blues Tavern. That was not an ad for the Blues Tavern. That was just, I just want to help out Bert. Love the fact that Bert is doing, a few years ago, I wasn't sure Bert was going to make it. His health didn't seem so good. And now he's out and about. He's playing keyboards with a drummer. He's doing a lot better than he was a few years ago. So I just want to help him out. Again, 251-479-2723, the telephone number. I got a lot of things I can talk to you about, and I got more voicemail to get to. One thing real quick, though. Well, in the news headlines, the Fox News headlines we had just a moment ago, they mentioned the stock market hit a record today. Now, there's been a lot of important things in the news in the last few weeks. We've gotten a lot of stories about building up, U.S. military buildup near Iran, more deals with Europe and Ukraine and Russia and all this kind of stuff. Stuff going on in this country, of course, all the people fighting in this country over ICE and whether or not these people should be deported and all this kind of. We've had a lot of news items. But I've been wondering what's going on with it's almost like our entire media was ignoring what was happening in precious metals over the past few weeks. We saw just historic things with precious metals, with prices climbing to all-time highs, and then dropping dramatically, and then climbing up back again. Almost no coverage outside of business news. Just almost no coverage of stuff that was going on with the precious metals markets. And it made me wonder, is it because the people in the media don't understand it. But anyway, I'm always curious as to why some things get more attention than others, and still don't quite understand why our economy, not just the U.S. economy, but the global economy, hasn't been getting more attention over the past few weeks. Again, 251-479-2723, the telephone number. Now, in the last half hour of the show, I shared with you a message from longtime caller Buford about going to the polka dots. He phoned in a quick follow-up. This is a shorter follow-up message. He phoned it in because even though he went to that Mardi Gras ball last night, Buford was on the job this morning before 7 a.m. This was phoned in this morning. Even though Buford went to the polka dots ball, Buford was on the job, and he phoned this in after 6:30. It was between 6:30 and 7 a.m.
Henry, this here's Buford. Henry, even though I did go to the Polka Dots Mardi Gras ball last night, I am at work bright and early this morning. I mean, you got to, Henry, especially when you got fellers on welfare that need support. Henry, these welfare recipients absolutely need to be able to buy massive amounts of steaks and ribs and sausages that I
Well, at least that's healthy.
cannot afford.
Better than Doritos.
Henry, and also, did you see where they want to take away the candies from the welfare recipients?
Yes, I saw that.
Can't buy candy with my tax dollars.
Right.
All up in arms because they say that's mean and unfair. But anyway, Henry, going down Government Street this morning, I saw a ball goer standing outside of Government Street in the ball gown.
All right, so this is 6:30 in the morning. You saw somebody in their Mardi Gras gown on Government Street, 6:30 this morning.
In the ball gown, female. Crazy, you gotta specify that nowadays. With it 06:55 and 38 seconds in the AM.
Okay, so 6:55 this morning.
Any of you fellers looking for a last-minute take-home date from the ball, there's one that's probably willing to go anywhere. Standing right there at Government Street, right across from the Admiral Sims Hotel. And that's right, Henry, I still call it the Admiral Sims Hotel. Anyway, Henry, you have a good day.
Buford, thank you for that report. I appreciate the reports from Mardi Gras so that I don't have to experience it. Hello, caller.
Hey, good evening, Uncle Henry.
Cliff, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I don't think there's anything in the news more important than trying to make Donald Trump look like a racist and voter ID is racist and all of that stuff. But because they're afraid. A lot of black people have saw through their BS. And so they are not having the amount of voters they think they need for this next election. So what they're doing, they're going all out. They're fighting tooth and nail. They're even telling us in our face that they want the illegals to have immediate ID right now and legal status right now on television. And so what's happening is, like I say, most people are waking up and coming off of that farm and seeing that these people just been pulling their leg all these years because right along with the food stamps and everything else, you don't hear the Democrats giving a ruckus about nothing except for trying to make Donald Trump and the Democrats, the Republicans, look bad because they're afraid. And they need to be very afraid because a lot of people are waking up. Even the fact that right now, they putting everything they got out on the illegals, money, time, everything on protecting the illegals, done left the old black voters alone. And now they're seeing that. Some of them are getting smart. They haven't mentioned a black person doing this or getting hurt, that, or anything. Just two idiots got shot, getting paid to do stupid things. You have a blessed day, Uncle Henry.
Cliff, thank you. I appreciate very much your phone call to the Uncle Henry Show. You know, Cliff talking about, and I haven't seen exactly what he's talking about, where Cliff was saying that They're wanting legal status for the illegal aliens that are here now. They want them to be given IDs or legal status or something like that. You know, if borders really don't matter, which is the argument that is being made, and it's only made for our country. We're the only country on the planet where borders are not supposed to matter and anybody can just waltz in and start getting government benefits and get a high five. And we're glad to have you here, and here we're going to put you up in a hotel or whatever we're going to do. No other country does this the way that we had done it. If borders don't matter, then I want to know why I can't go to New York and vote in their elections. Because there's a lot of states that send horrible politicians to Washington, D.C. that just make a mess of the rest of the country for all of us that have to live in this country. I would love to be able to go to New York and vote against Chuck Schumer or run against him. Or I would love to have been able to go to California and vote against Nancy Pelosi when she was going to be running for re-election. I would love to have been able to participate in the Georgia elections back in 2020. It's so nonsensical. It's just amazing. And Cliff has made the point. How is it that people are falling for a lot of this stuff? All right, there is more. Yeah, I got more. More Uncle Henry Show coming up after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
If you're watch for a crash with road blockage on
YouTube viewers, thanks for looking. Going to be back on the radio here in just a few minutes. We're in the commercial break for traffic and weather and all that other garbage. Let's see. First, let me look at you. See if I need to answer any questions. There's Pat Nelly. Criminal addictive excitement. I don't know what that is. Pat Nelly, thank you for the Angelo mention. You know, when Ron was in Tuesday night for Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry, and we talk about Angelo every time we get together. And would love to have had Angelo on the air with me over these past few weeks at least. Would love to have him back on the planet, of course, but just all the stuff happening with the precious metals. And let's see. I see Bama Big Man lying about me. Okay. About something about a portalette. 68-year-old Chris, I will not watch Bad Bunny. I might watch a moment or two just to be repulsed. But I am going to try and find the Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Turning Point USA counter programming that will be the other, and Kid Rock has said that he's going to have some kind of surprise. So there's no telling. I don't know if President Trump will show up or if it'll be, who knows? But I'm going to try and watch some of the alternative halftime show that's going to be produced by Turning Point and have Kid Rock and Brantley Gilbert and whoever those other people are. They're going to be singing on there. Let's see. What can I tell you? I was looking for the weird news stories. Okay, here's something from artificial intelligence. A travel website in Australia used artificial intelligence to write about tourist attractions in Australia, and the AI ended up writing about hot springs in Tasmania that do not exist. So, and the owner of a nearby hotel said she was flooded with calls and visitors looking for the fake hot springs. Can you imagine? What if somebody had gone to Australia, had made the trip, and then found out that they didn't exist? I'd be very angry. All right, let's see. There is the website Etsy is now cracking down on people who are selling spells, curses, and supernatural services on their website Etsy. And there are witches that have been selling love spells, protection charms, curses, and things like that on Etsy, and now they are saying that they're being persecuted by Etsy, and they're having to move to their own websites. So this would be an opportunity for the witches to prove that they're real by casting some type of spell on the website. So I'll just have to wait and see how it works. And by the way, I don't look at Etsy. I'm glad now that I haven't been looking at Etsy.
Local store, football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, a Friday night with Mardi Gras parades. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Let me grab a caller here. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Navco Bill.
Navco Bill, what is going on with you, Navco Bill?
Just having a fantastic Friday. How about you?
I am having a fantastic Friday as well. Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to call you real quick about that guy yesterday. I think his name was Matt Cook, the guy about elections and things.
It was Mark Cook.
Oh, Mark Cook. Okay, I'm sorry. I several years ago, I was working for a contractor, and we hired a new secretary, and she always had to have off for the elections because she was a clerk. And I was talking with her about it, got interested in it, wanted to see behind the curtain and see what really goes on and how it all works. So I volunteered. And even though I say volunteered, but they pay you, you do get paid for serving as a clerk at a polling place. And I learned that we have very secure election procedures here in Alabama, especially, like in Mobile County, and I'm sure the other counties follow suit. People talk about, having paper ballots. Well, we have paper ballots.
Right.
That's the piece, I was a balloting clerk, so, you come in, you see the registration clerk, show them your ID. I think somebody had mentioned something about, the database is in Nebraska or something. It doesn't matter where the database is, as long as the ID and the address on the ID, the name of the person match what's on the rolls, and then they can vote. Say somebody was a tinker with the database somewhere and got 1,000 extra names on there, they'd have to have 1,000 people willing to get a fake ID, fake address, and try to go to the polling place and vote. And that just doesn't happen, at the end of the day, the machine, when you feed your paper ballot into the machine, all it's doing is counting that, ballot. And if somebody wanted to challenge that and say, hey, the machine was rigged, it subtracted every time the third Trump vote came in, it subtracted one, and added a Biden vote or some crazy thing like that, you could challenge that, and the paper ballots and the machine tape, we run a tape at night when the voting's over. If they didn't match up, obviously you could easily prove there was monkey business with the machine, that the programming wasn't right or something like that. So we have provable, verifiable elections in Alabama.
I'm glad to hear that. I really am. I know there's some other states where there may be some questions.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. Like in certain counties, even like Fulton County in Georgia, I think that in other states, certainly, especially in Chicago, the voter population there that's dead,
right?
They all seem to vote Democrat. And when my father passed away, he said the only thing he requested after his death was that he only allowed to vote Republican. And I said I would honor that.
Hey, Navco Bill, before I'm out of time, what am I hearing? In this phone call, am I hearing chickens? What am I hearing?
Yeah. I'm out here in my barnyard. I'm putting my chickens up.
Okay. Yeah, I was hearing chickens.
Yeah, I got roosters and a few roosters and a whole bunch of hens. So they're just getting mature now. I pulled in about 16 eggs today. During summer, I got down to where I actually had 3 days, the first 3 days, 5 years, I had no eggs. Like nothing was laid, and my populations had dwindled. So I've been stocking up and growing the flock again.
Well, good for you.
I'm going to hatch a bunch of black Oscar. Yeah.
Hey, I'm almost out of time, but do you ever have other varmints come up in the yard and try to get you chickens?
Oh yeah, everything tries to eat a chicken. Now, I mean, hawks, fox, coyotes, dogs. There's possums, raccoons. Everything seems to like chicken.
All right.
Seagulls only eat it at the ride in a parking lot.
All right. Well, hey, Navco Bill, I'm just about out of time, but thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that.
Okay. We'll talk to you later. Have a good job, Henry.
Thank you very much, Navco Bill. And if you're interested, he was talking about he had listened last night to Mark Cook, who has been in Mobile today, talking about election integrity. If you want to hear that conversation, that is available as a podcast. You can listen to my interview with Mark Cook on the iHeartRadio app or at newsradio710.com. That's from yesterday's Uncle Henry show. And if you want to go to that guy's website, handcountroadshow.org is the website. handcountroadshow.org. More Uncle Henry show coming up after the news break.
Fox on Tech. Get ready for some social media posts that are truly out of this world. NASA makes big use of social media. They stream practically everything, and most astronauts have personal social accounts featuring their content from missions like photos and videos. But often those posts are carefully constructed. Astronauts these days do have some internet connectivity, often used via computers already aboard the International Space Station, along with older still cameras and GoPros. But now NASA Chief Jared Isaacman posts on his X account that astronauts will be allowed to bring the latest smartphones with them to space. The policy begins with the upcoming Crew 12 flight to the station, set to launch the earliest next Wednesday, and the upcoming Artemis 2 moon.
The reason they have to let them go take pictures up there is because of everybody now has narcissism, and they all want selfies in space. Just have to have it. Modern people, they just want to have their selfies. All right. There will be no video Monday. There'll be a new show, but there will be no video Monday, as I will be in downtown Mobile as the Grand Marshal for the parade Monday night. I'll be back with you Tuesday on video. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant weekend.
iHeartAdvertising.com. Again, that's iHeartAdvertising.com.
You ever wonder how far an EV can take you on one charge? Well, most people drive about 40 miles a day, which means you can do all daily stuff no problem. Go to work, grab the kids at school, get the groceries, and still have enough charge to visit